What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Blown Save podcast, episode 11, Friday, Friday, May 8th. I swear to God, I haven't started drinking this time, guys. It is I, the one, the only, the man with the voice, the face for radio, me, himself. I am Mr. Brent. I hope everybody's having a great, wonderful week. You guys made it. Another week all the way through. Good job, guys. Hopefully everybody has stayed safe. Hopefully everybody's washed their hands. Hopefully everybody's stayed home. Speaking of people that have stayed home, I got my one, my only, my partner, my second half, my counterpoint in this world, Mr. Artie, the Basas Casas. What's up, baby?
What's up? How are we doing today?
We're doing well. You know, long day at work, bullshit. It is what it is. I'm just happy to be here with you now, talking shit and drinking some drinks and you know, talking sports. We got a lot of stuff to cover today.
Dude, it feels like the world's kind of coming back around a little bit. You know, things are opening up and sports is going. I'm not the biggest of UFC fans. I'm like a casual fan, right?
Yeah.
That watches here and there. And I know some of the bigger names and stuff like that. I don't know all the in-betweeners and stuff like that, but I know usually the main events, and I think tomorrow I'm actually gonna watch it. You know, I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing from beginning to end, but I think I will watch it.
I know we're definitely gonna be watching it here at the house. So I'm off at 5, coming straight home, and that thing's gonna be on the big screen. I'm like, ooh, let's do this. You got a buzz gun? What are you drinking tonight, Artie?
I'm drinking a little Jack and Coke, a little Coke with my Jack.
A little Coke with your Jack. You're getting your Coke jacked?
I'm getting jacked with my Coke.
Well, I know we have a 3-drink minimum, so I put 3 big shots in a big cup with some ginger ale, some Jameson. So about 10 minutes from now, I should be feeling pretty well. All right, first things first, let's dive into head first the Major League Baseball. MLB. The Cleveland Indians have told their players to prepare for the 2020 MLB season to start July 1st. And that was Ken Rosenthal who broke that. Man, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I just want to see sports. Like, I think right now I just get a little anxious with doing stuff that there's just not much sports going on. You know, you see every little tidbit that comes out. I was close to watching that Japan baseball. You know, let me tell you, I was real close to watching
KBA, the Korean Baseball League.
Oh, okay, yeah. So whatever it was, I was close to watching. I didn't do it, but I was close. But I'm really excited about this. You know, I just want to see baseball just in general. You know?
Yeah. I know. I caught part of the. They threw the highlights on there on ESPN, and it was great. It was great to see live sports for like 5 minutes, but not knowing any of the teams, not knowing any of the players, not knowing anything. It was really hard to like kind of like deep dive into that kind of stuff. And right. I mean, maybe somebody out there can tell us more in depth on how things are going over there, but it was nice nonetheless to be able to see some baseballs getting thrown around nice and hard and people whacking them over the fence. So, I mean, that was good. It was a nice change of pace to actually have something to be like, oh, look at that. They played baseball.
Right. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm very curious, too, on how everything's going to work. Are they going to do the 3 different divisions? They're going to split things up? How the playoffs are going to work? How many games for the regular season? I think those are all things that they're trying to iron out.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, even if they left everything the way they leave it, if they just have the players start off the season with nobody in the stands and then slowly, depending on how things are going, they get more and more people, or they get people to start going into the stadium, then I'm completely okay with that. Let's just get this fucking ball rolling, man. Like, I know a lot of people are against the let's not have anybody at the stadium. We don't want to play unless there's people in the stadium. Why play if there's? I mean, you play for the love of the game, goddammit, right?
Right. That's how everybody started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I'm curious again, like all those things, the logistics of it. Are they going to play at home stadiums? Are they going to be traveling? You know, are they going to be playing in Arizona? Like all the details is really what I'm looking forward to. And I personally believe that the deadline for them revealing all that stuff is going to be like June, because they're going to need, 3 weeks. I think 2 to 3 weeks. 2's going to be cutting it close, but I honestly think the number is 3 weeks that they're going to need to prepare to get back into like a baseball group.
Yeah, you know? I think by June 1st, let's see, what date does June 1st land on? June
Oh, I
1st
just
lands on
really
a
go
Monday.
out there.
June
there
1st
you
lands
go.
on a Monday. There you go. They're going to announce
All
it.
right.
They're going to announce it that day. By that Friday, players are going to be reporting into their respective spring training facilities, do like 3 weeks of spring training, and then boom, we're right into July, and it's going to be off the hook. First game will be Wednesday night. Wednesday night baseball. I'm down with it. I mean, whatever day it starts. I mean, it'd be dope because 4th of July starts on a Saturday. Start it that weekend. Have the first game Friday night and go into the weekend. Go that way. Start on the 3rd and rock and roll. I think that'd be pretty cool. And I even talked about that like 4 shows ago. I don't know how long ago. I was saying that it'd be nice to have the MLB's Independence Day align with the actual Independence Day of the United States. It'd be dope.
Right. Yeah, should be fun. I'm curious. Again, the details yet to be revealed, but I'm looking forward to all that stuff, you know?
Absolutely, bro. Moving on to the MLB draft. They are going to move it to 5 rounds. Is that just going to be... Because originally there's like 40 rounds of the fucking draft in MLB, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, is that just for this year, or is that going to be consistently, like from now on, it's only going to be 5 rounds?
You know what? That's a great question. I didn't see anything about whether it was consistent, but I definitely see it was that this year.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just mind-boggling. Because remember, my favorite player of all time was drafted in like the 62nd round, like Piazza. So he goes down already because they had cut it down to 40 as the lowest Hall of Famer to ever make it, like the lowest round Hall of Famer. Just like Brady was basically Mr. Irrelevant, it's obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. Brady's going to be the lowest player to ever be drafted to make the Hall of Fame. Well, that's Mike Piazza's title too. But now we're talking 5 rounds? Like, that's crazy, dude, because there's so many good players that always come out within, like, inside of 20 rounds. Yeah, every once in a blue moon, there's a dude outside of the 20. But, like, dude, there's always some hidden gems in there inside, like, the top 5, top 10, top 15 rounds.
What do you think? What would be a good number for you? Not obviously not 5, but do you think 10 rounds?
For me, the sweet spot would be 15 rounds. 15 rounds. But I mean, I'd be okay with 10. But I mean, the sweet spot to me is 15.
Why would you say 15?
Just because you could get those gems still. Those dudes that are like seniors in college. Because I don't know if you know how this works, right? So I know like some of the gist of it, like the bigger things. I don't know the details, only because of friends I've got to draft and stuff like that. Like my boy Gabe Gonzalez got drafted by the Florida Marlins and actually made it to the show the year after they won the World Series, right? So he has like a real cool story. Maybe I could get him on someday. But he was drafted. He had never been drafted at high school or after his sophomore year of college. The way it works is usually you could be drafted like 3 times. You could be drafted after your senior year of high school, and if you don't decide to sign, then you go into college, and usually you could be drafted again after your sophomore year of college, maybe even your junior year. It just kind of depends on how things are going for you, because you might have redshirted your freshman year, you might not have a good sophomore year, stuff like that, right? But it's usually like sophomore, junior year, and that's usually where all the big money's at, all the big players and stuff like that are at. And then you could be drafted a 3rd time after your senior year of college, right?
Right.
So, but all the leverage is in Major League Baseball's, the team that drafted you, it's in their corner when they draft you. Because after that, you don't have a choice. You either go play like independent ball or whatever it is, like if you don't like the contract after. So seniors out of college, they're kind of like, they're at the mercy of the team that drafted them. So it's not always a good situation. The ones that are in the great situation are the ones that get drafted after their sophomore and junior years, right?
Yeah.
But of course, there are exceptions of seniors. Like you could be a stud senior, like let's say Kurt Suzuki, who I went to college with at Cal State Fullerton, won the Golden Spikes Award as a senior. And he was a stud after his senior year, and he got drafted. I don't remember what round, but he got drafted by the Oakland A's, right?
Yeah.
And he obviously got to dictate his terms a lot because he was a stud. He wasn't just a senior, that got drafted. And there's a lot of dudes like that. So again, it just kind of goes into the balance of those type of things. I'll give you another example. Like, remember, obviously, not everybody knows that, but I used to be a sports writer, right, for the Orange County Register.
Mm-hmm.
So I did Garrett Cole's first professional interview, right? He's now the big time, probably baseball's #1 pitcher right now in general. Like,
yeah.
He's filthy. So I did his very first professional interview when he was entering his senior year, right? So then he got drafted, and I remember I kept in contact with him most of his senior year. He got drafted out of high school by the Yankees, I believe, right? And I think he got drafted in like a sandwich pick. And that dude said, thanks, but no thanks. And he went on to play at UCLA. And the reason is he wanted to be inside the top 10 in terms of draft picks. So I believe they took out like his parents' family took out like an insurance policy on him. He went on to play at UCLA for 2 years and then got drafted again after his sophomore year.
Okay.
And he got drafted #1 overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that dude bet on himself and his talents, say, nope, I'm a #1 pick. I'm a top 5 pick. I'm a top 3 pick, whatever it was, right? And he had said, and I remember his dad telling me, like, you know, I just don't see a signing unless it, like, they offer us some big money, but they're not going to offer us big money or what they're going to draft us. So unless he's like a top 10 pick with, you know, this kind of signing bonus, we don't see him signing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I wrote a little something about that. And sure enough, he did what he said, and he banked on himself. And it paid off. And now, you know, he's got the biggest contract in baseball, right? Like
for a pitcher.
Yeah, for a pitcher. But it's stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Like the contract he has. And again, all along, this dude's banked on himself. And to me, that's just amazing. So, again, not everybody's going to play into that, you know? Like, there's a lot of dudes. Like Albert Pujols. I don't know where he was drafted. Hopefully I have his stuff out here. But I know off the top of my head that dude was a junior college player. Junior college. And, you know, he wasn't exactly drafted in the top 5, probably. Can't see. I do have his stats up here, but it doesn't show when he was drafted. But, I mean, I bet you he was drafted inside the top 10 rounds, you know, but he was not drafted in the top 10 and the top 5. So you're telling me a dude like Albert Pujols probably doesn't get signed to a major league contract right now under this year's, you know?
Yeah.
So it says right here. Okay, perfect. It does have it on here.
It was the 18th pick in the 13th round.
13th round. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
In 1999.
Yep. So imagine that. We might not see an Albert Pujols type of dude. So if you ask me, that's why I think the 15th round is kind of that sweet spot, you know?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dudes that really make it outside of that 15th round, you know? There are, don't get me wrong.
They're just not superstars.
Yeah, they're just not superstars. They're probably really good role players, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, this dude was drafted, you know, 13th round. Like I said, I don't know where he got drafted out, but I remember it was like Kansas City Junior College or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was like something strange, and I was like, what? This dude was drafted out of a junior college? Like, crazy, you know? Crazy.
It's amazing where, you could find somebody, like we said, with Albert Pujols, with Tom Brady. You never know who's going to be there, who's going to be that superstar.
Tom Brady came out of a big college, though. He came out of Michigan.
He did. But he still got drafted late. And,
right.
You know what I mean? But he wasn't even drafted to be the starter. He was drafted to be one of the backups. He just so happened that Bledsoe got hurt, Brady went in, and that's all she wrote at that point.
Right. Yep.
I mean, what can you do at that point? Hopefully they do expand it from the 5 rounds. Maybe this year it'll only be 5 rounds, but next year hopefully they see that they need more to go with. Like even football has 6 rounds, I believe.
Oh wow!
And so it's like and you have so many more players in an organization with baseball that you shouldn't be limiting yourself to 5 rounds, I think.
Right. I agree.
All right. NBA decision may not come for some more weeks. Commissioner Adam Silver says to Yahoo Sports Chris Haynes. The NBA facilities are opening up, correct?
Yep, that's step 1.
May 8th, that was today. The facilities opened today.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're going to just play it by ear because, you know, the crazy thing is I think the NBA was at the forefront of when all this went down, the pandemic,
Yeah.
So now they're kind of like, well, we don't want to be the leaders in terms of saying when we come back. And I could honestly believe, which is the topic we're going to touch on, I think a lot of people have their eyes on how UFC is going to handle tomorrow's event, and what kind of whiplash or backlash they're going to get, positive stuff, learn from it. They don't, I don't think like the major sports want to be the guinea pigs. They say, hey, like
they're waiting for somebody else to do.
Yeah, UFC's big, but you're not one of the big four,
Yeah. Some notable dates. So the Korean Baseball Organization began May 5th. The NBA practice facilities open today. Right. UFC fights start tomorrow. The NFL facilities are opening protocols May 15th. May 15th. Bundesliga is the soccer over there in the UK. May 15th also. NHL informal skating starts open back up the 15th. NASCAR coming back the 17th. We're going to go ahead and skip that one. MLS is scheduled for about the second week of June. PGA Tour starts again June 11th. The AFL starts the 11th as well. MLB rumored, hopefully it stays this way, to be coming back July 1st or the beginning of July. The Kentucky Derby has been pushed back to September 5th. And college football, hopefully it just stays on track and we don't have to worry about that at this point. But
I agree. But I think college football is different because the players don't get paid.
True.
And they're
now some
kids.
of them.
I know they look like big old men freaks and stuff, but dude, a lot of them are just kids, man. They're in the 20s, early 20s,
Yeah.
So that's why I think that one is going to be the very last one because these dudes aren't getting paid. They're not getting paid,
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, if everything else starts popping off and we're looking at June and July and baseball starts kicking off, I think the NFL and college football, they kick off and they rock and roll where, when they think they should. So it'll be interesting.
Should be good. Let's get to the big topic for the day.
ESPN 30 for 30. Guess what's happening? If you guys watched The Last Dance this last week, you found out that they are bringing out 3 more additional documentaries. Lance, Be Water, and Long Gone Summer. Of the 3, I think, or in the order of which I'm more excited to see, I want to put it that way. I'm going to go with Long Gone Summer, Be Water, and Lance coming in the third. Now, Lance is
basically the way that they're releasing it in opposite order. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, we're releasing the Lance because we get it. Everybody hates him.
I mean, I don't hate him. At the end of the day, he still had to ride that damn bike and do what he had to do. Lost the lone huevito on the way. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. He beat testicular cancer, man. I still got to give him a little bit of credit. Obviously, he doesn't get it all, but still.
Right. He cheated, dude. He cheated dudes. Like, I get what he did and stuff like that, and it was inspiring for a moment. But here's the thing. This dude was that dude. Okay, because one of my favorite writers, again, when I was a sports writer and I was coming up, right?
Yeah.
Like, one of my all-time, the all-time dude that why I wanted to be a sports writer, Rick Riley. He used to be Sports Illustrated, right?
Uh-huh.
And now he moved to honestly, I lost track of where I think he went to ESPN. But I mean, I used to read him religiously with Sports Illustrated, right? Like, that was my dude. And like, I was so excited. And I remember he wrote this big old article and like Lance looked me in the face and we were in the sauna and he looked me dead in the eye. And he said, I did not cheat. I did not this and this, that. And he's like, like if you're lying and it comes out later, I'm not. Like, I put that on this and this and that. He's on. Not only does he not come and tell me, hey, you know what, I lied because of this or that. I had to find out through Oprah, like on national TV. And then when I try to hit him up about it, he doesn't want to respond and blah, blah, blah. Like, Rick Riley is like, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. Worst thing. He's all, because it's one thing to like not say anything or not comment and be like, you know what, like, I just can't talk about that. I can't this. But it's another thing to look a man in the eye and just tell him, like, look, man, hey, I didn't cheat. And you're literally, like, lying eye to eye to another man.
It's kind of like the Astros right now.
I'd rather not say anything than lie to another person man to man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Like, I'd rather not say anything. And I would have respected Lance more for that. Like, for example, like another person that's on this list, right, is like Mark McGwire. You know, he's another dude that hasn't really looked another man in the eye and said, I did not cheat, I did not this. You know, he's like, yeah, you know, I used this, and it's not technically steroids, and it's not this, and it's not that, even though it's been banned now by baseball, right?
Yeah.
But he's never, like, looked and shaked his finger like Rafael Palmeiro did at somebody and said, you know, you're wrong, and I did not cheat, and blah, 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 and then you test positive for steroids later. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I could respect more. Am I going to let you into the Hall of Fame? No. But am I still going to be like, hey, man, you know, you saved the game for a summer when the game was dying a little bit? Hell yeah. Like, I'm all about that, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Just different perspectives, you know? Lance reminds me of a Rafael Palmeiro type of thing, you know?
Right on.
I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Like I said, I mean, obviously I don't have that notoriety, or deep involvement in the way you did with that writer or following that writer and how he went down with Lance. All I saw was from a kid watching this one dude pick apart the Tour de France, you know what I mean, and winning it, what he did, like 4 or 5, 22, 52 times, whatever it was, and then he won them. And it was just, I mean, it was interesting that this guy, he had testicular cancer, lost the ball, and still was able to compete and do that. He came out, they found out later that he was cheating, he was doping, and this and that. And it's like, it does tarnish it. I mean, I can't, it's just kind of like Bonds and McGwire and Sosa. Like, they're going to be tarnished for the rest of their lives. At the end of the day, they still had to hit the ball, and he still had to fucking ride that bike. And he did. He rode that bike hard as hell. So I understand he's not going to be seen as one of the greatest, Tour de France winners ever. But people are still going to look back and go, man, well, he still did really well, though. Like, he did what he did. Yes, he had some help, but you still got to fucking pedal. You still got to go dig. You still got to go up those mountains and stuff like that. So I got to give him a little bit of credit. I can't give him, I can't vindicate him. You can't do that when you're a proven cheater. But at the same time, like, bro, you did some crazy shit. I can't take that away from you.
It's like saying Bonds still hit the ball,
I mean, he was juiced the fuck up. He hit the ball, man. He hit it. I mean, with Bonds, though, it was either it's getting crushed or he's out.
Or he's walking.
Or yeah, they're just going to walk him.
That dude's the only player in history to walk 200 times in a season.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I'm still going to watch the Lance documentary. It's a 2-part, 4-hour freaking documentary. I'm still going to watch it. It's only 2 parts, 2 hours each one. We're good to go. I think I could watch it. I'm very excited to see Be Water. Basically a look at Bruce Lee told by his friends and family. I mean, I've seen probably every Bruce Lee documentary or movie that they've made about his life. Absolutely love every single one of them. And I'm excited to see what this is. I'm excited to see what new information or what new footage that they're going to bring out that nobody's seen yet. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. I've seen a lot of the same stuff been kind of regurgitated and thrown back out at us, and another look at the same thing. So I hope it's not that. Like, because I really love Bruce Lee. I love his mentality, his everything. And I just hope that it's something new that we get to see. I mean, obviously, there's going to be stuff we've already seen if you've seen any of his documentaries and stuff like that. I get that. But I hope there is, like, some additional stuff that's like, wow, like, oh, man, I didn't know this. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Any little tidbit is awesome, right?
Yeah. Any little extra that we're going to get out of that, I think, is going to be awesome. And then,
You and a few of my close friends obviously know one of my big bucket list things for me are I'm trying to see all the stadiums in Major League Baseball, right?
Right.
I've been to, God, I don't even know off the top of my head, but let's just say it's 20 plus. I believe that my number's at like 22, right? Right. And the last one that I went to that was a new stadium for me, I believe, I could be wrong, but it was Seattle, the Mariners.
Right.
And while I was in Seattle, I don't know if you know this, but that's where Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee are buried. So of course I had to make a little trip out there to go see their gravestones, and it's not easy to find, dude. Like
really,
where they're buried, you know, it is not. It's one of those you got to Google it, and you know, hope to find the little landmarks that they're looking for. But we found it, you know, we found it. I took some pictures with it, you know, moment of silence type of thing, and like paid your respects. But I mean, it was one of those surreal, like, dude, because you know, me and you grew up like seeing them on screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Bruce Lee was obviously we were little when he passed away. Well, Brandon Lee was more like, hey, that was in our prime type of thing, like where we remember a lot of it. Like I remember The Crow very well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and then to find out that he died while making The Crow is like just mind-boggling, you know. So to me, again, I got to go see where they're buried, and that's pretty cool. And actually, now that you're here, I'm going to make it official. I would like for you one day to join me on my little quest of seeing all these stadiums. And you're probably going to have to go with me to, like, watch a Dodger game type of thing. You don't have to wear your Angel stuff. And you don't have to wear Dodger stuff. But you could be neutral and just see a stadium, you know?
I'll tell you right now, man, I am 100% with you. It gave me goosebumps right now when you said that. I was like, oh, I want to go.
You know, I'm taking the wife. I mean, it was originally before the coronavirus had all set up. So our anniversary is August 24th, right?
Right.
And August 24th, that weekend, the Dodgers happened to be playing in Coors Field. So I was looking to give the wife a birthday present, something like ahead of time, something that we both like, because she likes the Dodgers just as much as I do. Mm-hmm. Well, not as much, but you know, she likes the Dodgers a lot too, right? And she's gone with me to a lot of these stadiums. She's been with me to, God, I want to say like 10 stadiums already, you know, mm-hmm. which is. That's why I love her. You know, like she's been with me at 10. That's a lot of damn stadiums.
That is a lot.
You know, so I set it up and I gave her for her birthday back in March tickets to go Colorado. We were going to go to Colorado the weekend of August 24th to see the Dodgers play the Rockies. Of course, that's not going to, most likely is not going to happen anymore. We're going to go over there. Hopefully the Rockies are in town so I can see them play at their stadium. But let me tell you, I'm going to take a damn tour of that stadium now, no matter what.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I hope that the damn Rockies are in town at least. I don't care if they're not playing the Dodgers. So that I can see another stadium and a game in a stadium. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be another one off my list. And I believe, besides Oakland, that will mark off all my teams on the West Coast.
So where are you going to go from here?
I want to do, and maybe you'll join with me. That way we could like boo the Oakland A's, since obviously they're in your division, right? That way, they have like I go with Pantone 294 from time to time to their trips, and they have a turnaround trip to Oakland when they go play Oakland, and maybe me and you could go see the Dodgers play the Oakland A's on a turnaround trip there.
I'm so down with going up to watch the Dodgers beat the Oakland A's.
Yeah, you could not necessarily cheer the Angels, but you could boo the Oakland A's.
Oh, right? I could boo the A's all day.
Go.
I'm okay with that. Let me know. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, so that's probably the next one besides Coors Field on my list. Next summer when my big Leo, my older of the boys,
mm-hmm.
I told Marie I really want to go hit up those NL East, AL East, some of those stadiums over there. I need to hit up the like Atlanta area. So
right.
I want to take Leo to go there and see some of those stadiums. But I've been kind of like waiting a little bit because I mean I'm not old, but I'm not young, right? But Leo is still really little, and I want him to remember some of this stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm with you there.
Like I'm not, dude. I have like 20 plus stadiums already under my belt, you know, and I'm not in a hurry. I don't have that many left to really go see. And I kind of want to take my sons to go see the rest. And Maria, like, she's kind of like, it's cool if ands or buts. You know, she doesn't have as much vacation time as I do.
Right.
But I asked her, like, hey, would you be cool if I took the boys to go see a few of these stadiums I want to see? And she's like, all about it. You know, she's like, yeah, go for it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So I think as the boys get older, too, I think one of the things we're going to start doing, because eventually I'm just going to knock them all off the list, right?
Right.
Then I'm going to start hitting up all the spring training facilities. So I've already told her, although this year got kind of messed up, we already had plans to go do it, but every spring training, we're going to go see at least one Dodger game over in Arizona. And then from there, we're going to try to hit up the other little facilities and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, you know my little boys are still little, so I still got some time. And hopefully it'll work out and we knock all those things out. And, you know, again, you got to have like goals in life, right? And that's, you know, a small little bucket list goal of mine. It's not like super crazy high or anything. I think I've hit most of my big ones and stuff like that, but I'm always setting new goals. And that's definitely.
I know one of the stadiums that I definitely want to go see is Boston, the Green Monster. I want to see it. I know you've seen it already.
And the tour. Super nice people. Facility, they're so nice that they're like, hey, we'll take the picture. Hey, this is a better shot. Why don't you stand right here? Like stuff like that. They were just like the most humble people and everything. And like, man, you were just like, you just tip your cap. You know, I was wearing Dodger stuff the whole time, and they're just like, they weren't hating or anything like that. You know, a lot of the fans I was there wouldn't really hate, but they'd be like, what are you, a Dodgers fan? Are you from LA? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, okay. You know,
like, are you from LA, guy? Come on, man. Oh, wait, you are? Oh, yeah, dude. No worries.
All right, cool. Just asking. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. Like, yeah, I'm from LA. So,
I know. I've been to the old Candlestick Park, where the Giants used to play.
I went there, but to see a football game, so I never got to see a baseball.
I actually got to watch the baseball game there. Watch the fog roll over the wall and come down into the stands. It was wild. Like, I had never seen that kind of thing. I was like probably like 13, 14 years old. So it was one of those things that I'll always remember. So
have you been to San Diego?
San Diego Stadium? Yeah.
Yeah, you've been to the new one?
Petco?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went on a turnaround trip about 3-4 years ago. Now it had to have been about 5 years ago, because I wasn't with Judy at the time, and about 5 years ago. We'll just leave it at that. It's about 5 years ago.
All right. I was asking because I would say, oh, maybe that's a small one that we can make and take our boys.
I mean, I'm down with that, dude. I'll take the little guy, and we'll definitely go out there. I know he's going to be super excited to watch some baseball. He's been playing like crazy here at home, and it's driving us crazy, so we need him to go out and do some other stuff.
I like it. All right. Moving on.
Oh, yes. Moving on.
Now let's talk about the little long gone summer, because we're talking about B. Water and how I got to see the grave for Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee, which was surreal. You know, it's basically the best way I could put that.
Right on.
But I remember, you know, this 1998 home run race. I remember like it was yesterday, dude.
So do I. When I read that on the topics for today, I was like, oh my god, just brought back so many freaking memories of watching them go back and forth.
And it was amazing. It was like, oh, it felt like Sammy Sosa was like the bad guy, right? Like trying to.
It really did.
Upstage McGuire, because McGuire had been trying for so long, and he was always a dude destined to break the record, but came close and got injured. And, you know, if he just had a few more at bats and blah, 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 blah. And Sammy got hot because he had like one of the sickest Junes ever. Because I remember the two Junes that stand out in my mind were Andrew Jones and Sammy Sosa. And both of them were like in the 20s in home runs or something like that for a month, which is just like absurd or something, right?
Yeah.
And so Sammy just jumped out to like the big lead and was like, oh no, not Sammy. He's going to make it. This is a dude that hasn't earned it. He hasn't worked his way towards the 60 home runs, blah, blah, blah. But it seemed like they were going back and forth.
It really was a back and forth fight between the two. And it was great to watch because they were so humble about it with each other.
They weren't like jerks about it, huh? They were like cheering for each other.
Yeah.
And then they're rivals in the same division. That's
really
what, like, that's like crazy. You know, usually you're like, well, you know, blah, 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 or you don't talk it up. But these dudes were like, yeah, man, like, I hope he breaks it. And the other dude's like, yeah, I hope he breaks it, you know, and blah, blah, blah. But I think what helped them was that there was two of them chasing it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, when Roger Maris, again, I wasn't even live back then, but it seemed like from the movie, you know, 61 that I saw.
Great movie.
It seemed like all the pressure was really on him, especially once Mickey got hurt and Mickey said, like, hey, dude, it's yours to break it because I can't make it, right? You know, to the end of the season.
Yeah.
And these two dudes kind of like, they weren't on the same team, but they seem almost be connected and constantly be like, at least trying to one up each other.
I think they were constantly just pushing each other to do that. So, I mean, it was... To me, it was a great story, and I can't wait to watch it. It just sucks that it was what it was after the fact.
Right.
But still, like, it was one of those things that's just like, it was great to experience. It was great to enjoy watching.
It, right?
Yeah.
Like, we grew up in it. Like, we didn't know. We're 16, 17-year-olds. You're 17, I was 16.
And then like you were saying, it was a time when baseball was kind of dying out. Football was kind of taking over and whatnot, and it brought baseball back to life. It really did. It put baseball back on the front end. It brought back America's pastime, which is baseball. For a long time, people were like, "Oh no, football is America's pastime now," and this definitely, I think, was a turning point and brought it back. It gave it breathed new life into it and brought it back, and it was a great year.
Yeah, I'm excited about it for sure. And one thing a lot of people might not know is, do you know that Mark McGwire's home run, the one that broke it, was the shortest home run he hit that year? Like, it barely got over the fence, dude. Like, it wasn't even a wall scraper. It was kind of like a line drive that just cleared the fence.
Right.
And I remember seeing it when it happened, because he didn't get to really enjoy it, because he was like, like normally he gets to enjoy it and just watch it and stuff like that as it soars through the air, and I got all of it. He thought it was like, oh damn, this is a double off the wall. I better hustle.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if you remember, but like he has to go back and touch first base.
Yeah, he ran around it. I remember that.
He's like running his ass off. He's like, oh, it's a double off the wall. I better get over there. And then he's realizing as he's running, like, oh my god, it cleared the fence. Did it clear the fence? It cleared the fence, right? And he's, I gotta go back and touch first, and blah blah blah. Like, it was pretty crazy. Like, I'll never forget that. It was the shortest home run he hit that year, and it was the one that broke the record.
Yeah, I remember the Maris family being there and crying. They were crying, and he walked over to them afterward. Obviously, everybody gave him a moment to go deal with that, and then, I mean, it was very touching. And
yeah,
it was. I think I watched 61 10 times that year because of everything going on.
Yeah.
I mean, and shout out to the Maris family and Roger Maris, and there should never be an asterisk on his. As for these other two guys, I mean, they hit it with...
but nobody really recognizes the other dudes as the home run champs anymore,
Right.
Like, you realize it's been broken like freaking 4 times now?
Who else broke the 61?
So, okay, correct. I could be wrong, okay? This is off the top of my head without Googling it.
Uh-huh.
I believe Sammy and McGwire broke it that year. Sammy and McGwire broke it the next year each, so that's 4 times that's been broken. And then Barry Bonds broke it once, so that's 5 times. So I believe the record, quote unquote, has been broken 5 times.
Sosa in 2001, Sosa in 99, Roger Maris in 61, Babe Ruth, obviously. Oh my God. Hold on here real quick. Barry Bonds, McGwire, Sosa, McGwire, Sosa, Maris, Ruth, and that's it. After that, it's all 50s and all that other madness. But to break the 61, obviously, it was Sosa in 99, McGwire in 99, Sosa in 2001, Sosa in 98, McGwire in 98, and then Barry Bonds in 2001 with 73.
I was off by 1, but can you believe that? I was off by 1 without looking that up, right? I was off by 1. 6 times it's been broken. 6. Does anybody really even know that?
Nah. I would have said 3 times, but no.
Right? 6 times. I again, off the top of my head, I thought it was 5. But 6 times it's been broken, and people don't realize that it's been broken that much. Again, the steroid era, stuff like that. But, the single season record, without looking at it, I know you looked at it already. Do you even know what the single season record is now?
It's not 74?
I thought it was 71, but I could be wrong. Maybe 70, but I believe it's 71.
Home run record. Let's see here. Google, find it for me. Most home runs this season, 73.
73, okay.
We'll meet halfway.
Yeah, but you were over, so you lose.
Whatever. I was closer. I said 74. You said 71, so I was close. Technically, I was closer.
Yeah, but if you go over, you lose.
Whatever. Anyways, I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be interesting to see the Long Gone Summer. It starts May 24th, and it runs through June 14th, so it's going to be interesting to see that whole thing. I'm super excited about that. So, good times. Bringing us back to the good old days.
Wish we weren't in quarantine. I'd love to watch that with you.
Oh, absolutely, man. Maybe we'll do a live show or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to UFC. Quick spot here at the UFC. UFC is back, baby! UFC 249 tomorrow night. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. At 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The prelims will start. So I'm pretty damn excited about all this madness. Originally, Dana White said he vowed that UFC would be the first sport back. Technically, the Korean Baseball League beat him, but we'll give it to him. Right. He's going to be the first official in the United States.
The US, there you go.
There you go. So yeah, you did it, Dana. You did it. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. And like we said earlier, this is going to be the test of how everything else goes for the rest of the season. So hopefully they do not screw this up, because that's going to mean everybody else is going to get pushed around. But still, let's see. The title fight's going to be Khabib versus Ferguson, which is going to be pretty awesome. April 7th, they announced the postponement originally. They were considering different options, including the Mortal Kombat Island that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. He tried to do it in California. They was getting pressured left and right. So it's finally going to be in Florida. He agreed with the Florida State Boxing Commission that it's going to be 249 is going to be in the Vicester Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida, with 0 fans in attendance. It's basically going to be the 2 fighters and their corners. They're going to come in, they're going to do the thing, and then they're going to get out. I heard, and this could be wrong, but I heard even the judges are going to be doing it remotely. They will not be ringside. So for the first time, they will be watching the fight with monitors in a different room, separate rooms. So they won't be ringside, which will be the first time that happens. I still haven't heard anything about Joe Rogan. I don't know if he's going to be. I didn't catch his podcast the last couple of days, so I haven't seen what he's said or if he's going to be there or what's going to happen with that. I know originally he said that he was not going to do no remote commentating. Either he was going to be there or he wasn't going to do it, and he said he's not going to be there, so we'll see what happens there. Are you excited? I know you said that you're more of a casual UFC guy. I'm a little bit more than a casual UFC guy. I like a little bit more. I know more of the guys or whatever, but I'm like super, super excited to see some actual sports. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to get off a little early tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to try and see if I can take my lunch early and then get out of there at 3 so I can get here. And because obviously, and I want to watch all the prelims, but the first prelim, second prelim, I'm sure I can miss. But I definitely want to be here, everything set up, and start getting down with it before the main fights get here. I want to make sure everything's running right and all that and whatnot. So I know we have a couple people coming over. Nothing crazy. Don't worry, guys. We're not throwing a party or anything like that. I see all you guys over there writing dirty letters to us right now. But no, I'm going to have like 2 people over, and that's the entirety of what's going to happen.
Bro, there's like parties going on my block every other night.
Shut up.
And I'm not even lying, dude. And I'm talking weekdays, dude. So yesterday there was a banda across the street, but one house to the left. Today they did it right. Today they did, one of the little drive-bys, birthday party things where they're honking the horns.
Oh, birthday party parade?
Yeah. So they did it right. The neighbors, they have a pool just like us, and they have like a little party every other night too, because they had one. So yesterday again was the banda across the street. The day before was Wednesday, and they had a party at their house or people over. And then on Monday, same thing. They had like people over. The neighbors, the ones right next to me, had like a ton of people. Because dude, you could smell the Mary Jane going on and stuff like that. Because because you could tell the parents are away, and it's summertime, and the kids are in their 20s, and good times over there. Good times.
Yeah, and that's why I have cameras at my pool all over the house. My kids are going anywhere.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to watch tomorrow. The UFC. Usually I like having a bunch of people over and watching the fights or whatever. It's not, but definitely it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. I'm excited. If all goes well, granted they've already hit their first, little wall. One of the fighters and 2 of his cornermen have tested positive for the coronavirus, so that fight's getting scrubbed. Originally, they were talking about having somebody else step in for the fight, but they're just going to go ahead and pull that fight, so they're not going to fight as of right now. Ronaldo Suaza and his two cohorts right there. They are asymptomatic, so they're not showing any signs of it. They did get tested prior to the situation, and the test results came back, and so they are not going. He's not going to be fighting, even though he's asymptomatic. They don't want to pass it along to anybody, so that fight's getting scrubbed. Whether or not they throw a couple people in there, bump somebody from the lower fights up to jump in that main card, we'll see. There are scheduled 5 bouts, so now 4 technically. So hopefully they do bump up somebody from the prelims and throw them up there and keep it a 5-card main card. So we'll see. But we'll see what happens. Our thoughts and prayers as always go out to the Swauza camp. Hopefully everybody comes back and everybody's gonna be okay, and hopefully they remain asymptomatic and don't pass along to anybody else.
All right.
On to the big stuff, the meat and potatoes of the night, the NFL, the National Football League. The former Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton. I woke up to this and I was like, "What's happening? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Why is this happening to me?" Andy Dalton signed a 1-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys worth up to $7 million, including $3 million guaranteed. Well, at least somebody's signed with the Cowboys for sure, as far as a quarterback goes. Dak, please fucking sign your shit, or at least do the franchise tag, sign it, accept it, and bet on yourself. Like Artie's been saying, sometimes you got to bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. What do you think, Artie?
I mean, I like it, but here's my thought, dude. Here's my thing, dude. It's like the good old boys club, Like, they always just seem to take care of certain dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna say, but how is it Andy Dalton signs a 1-year deal up to $7 million with $3 million guaranteed, yet Jameis Winston, who led the league in passing yards, granted, and interceptions as well, too, signs for, what was it, $1.5 million guaranteed? $3 million max?
Yeah.
Contract? Like, come on, dude, really?
And really? Then the other guy, the guy who they did sign to a big old contract, what was his name? The two-way player, whatever you want to call him. I forget his name. Hills or something like that. He signed for $21 million. It's like, bro, really?
And again, I'm we're brown here, bro, but dude, come on. Like, how's that work? How's that work?
I am surprised that Cam, of all people, I thought if the Cowboys went out and grabbed somebody crazy, like they did a crazy move like that, why not take Cam as your backup? Because you basically have two of the same style-ish players in Cam and Dak.
Yeah, but Cam, I personally believe has that like Carmelo Anthony syndrome to him. Cam's kind of like a dude's I'm not going to be a backup. If I'm going somewhere, I'm going to be a starter.
At this point, the jobs are running really, really dry now.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. He has that Carmelo Anthony syndrome. And then Carmelo was on the sidelines for like a year and change, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, if you need me to come off the bench, I'll be the sixth man. Like, I'll be the sixth man. But before, I don't know if you remember when he was the Knicks, he's like, there's no way I'm coming off the bench. They traded for me so I could start. And now that dude's like, yeah, I'll just play wherever. I just want to play,
Yeah.
And I think Pat Newton has kind of that little bit of syndrome. Like, maybe that has something to do with Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton signing because they were like, hey, you know what? Cool. I'm not the starter. I just want to be in here. And if that dude, gets his ankle tweaked or whatever, like, I'll be here. You know?
For sure.
And that's kind of the smart thing to do if you're not getting, like, if your phone's not ringing off the hook with offers, why not? But I just don't think Cam Newton is in that page. He's like, nah, man, I won the MVP 4 years ago. Like, I need to be a starter,
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Cam's shooting himself in the foot here on this one. Whether or not there have been offers for him, that's one thing. But you need to put your best foot forward and understand that you're not that same guy you were 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's a different league, and you're a different player now. You're coming off injury. Take what they give you and work your way back out. I mean, you never know what could happen at any point in time. Look at Fitzmagic. He's still fucking playing somewhere,
right?
Because he still keeps. I'll take a backup role anywhere, and then boom, you're in.
Why not be smart about it, Cam? Why not take a backup role on a dude that if you think you're that good, take a backup role on a dude that you can beat out. You're like, you know what? I'll be the backup for that dude because I will beat his ass. Get me into training camp, and when we walk out, I'm gonna be Russell Wilson. Watch, I'm gonna take you to the Super Bowl, and we're gonna win it. Prove like if you want to bet on yourself, bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think. Like he should do that, and I think he's capable of it. He's got to pick the right spot. You know, again, I've been saying this all along. Hey, go to Miami. That's the right fit for you. He's a dude that could beat out
Tua.
I forget his name. Yeah, Tua, right? That could beat out Tua this year and be the starter. Maybe he shines, maybe he doesn't. Tua could go down there, be the backup guy, you know, like for a minute, learn, whatever. Like, take your time. But, I mean, pick your spot, dude. Be smart about it. Be strategic, you know? And I think Andy Dalton saw the writing on the wall. I think he sees that he's no longer an elite quarterback. And there's a crack. I'm not going to lie. I think there's a crack with the Cowboys right now and Dak not signing. I like Dak. I'm not going to lie. I really do. You know, I took him in a couple fantasy leagues last year, and he paid off pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a good player. Do I think he's great? Not yet. Do I think he could get there? Sure, I do. Especially with the weapons they added now and Ezekiel Elliott coming off of a season where he's going to come into the camp and he's not reporting late or whatever. Like, I think Dak could get there. But that Andy, to me, is playing it smart. Like, dude, that dude's getting $3 million to ride the bench and, you know, hold the clipboard. And if things don't work out with Dak, that dude walks into, like, a prime situation where you got, like, a couple freaking elite receivers, or I don't know about elite, but at least very good, or, you know, B, A-, high B's, A- kind of receivers.
Yeah.
And definitely a A running back, like, with a pretty good line, you know? He's playing it smart, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting pick for me, but I do understand what they did. I was a little sad they let Cooper Rush go, and they stuck with the unproven guy. Their last pick of the draft, I think, was another quarterback, and they kept him around, and they let go of Cooper Rush. But no surprise here, Cooper Rush signed with the New York Giants, and guess who's over there? The Clapper himself. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, good luck to Cooper Rush. Not too much good luck though, but you know, good luck. Hopefully you nail that backup position. Moving on from the Cam of the Newtons, the NFL schedule has been released. Give us free. What matchups are you most excited for now, Artie? I know you deep dive on this one. The season does start on Thursday, September 10th, with the Texans squaring off against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I'm correct?
Yeah, I would assume so. I wouldn't think they'd put the defending champs on the road, right?
I don't think so either. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that without looking it up. Hey, Google, don't worry about it. So it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be great to see football back, regardless of the date and who.
Is it weird they don't have like a big old ring ceremony like they do in Major League Baseball and basketball? They kind of should, no? Like
they do. They have a huge. Yeah.
I've never really noticed that.
They don't really televise it because it's so freaking long.
Okay, but I would think it'd be pretty cool, you know, because I know they make it a big deal in baseball and NBA, but I've never really heard it be that big of a deal with the NFL, you know?
Oh, it's a deal. Top games, week 1, the Saints will square off against Tampa Bay. So Breeze versus Brady, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Usually we only get that in the Super Bowl if that's the case, because it was the NFC versus AFC. But now we're going to get to see them, since they're both in the NFC South. We're going to get to see them at least twice a year, which is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
My boys,
you know their records to and opening days, their last 10 games.
No.
Take a guess. Over or under wins. Who do you think has more wins? That'd be the easy one.
Opening day.
Yeah.
Breeze.
The last 10 years, remember.
Breeze.
Yeah, Breeze. Okay. Over under. Let's go 6 wins for. Oh, you said Breeze?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, you're wrong there.
You said, all right, yeah. I was like, okay.
You're wrong there. Yeah. You're way off.
I guess Breeze heats up later.
Yeah. No, it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady has more wins the last 10 seasons. And then what do you think the records are? Okay, let's start off with Tom Brady, who I just told you has a better record now. I haven't told you what the record is. The last 10 opening season games. What do you think his record's at?
All right, well, now that I know that Breeze is the one on top, I'm going to go with...
Breeze is not the one on top.
I mean, Brady's the one on top. Dude, whiskey, all right, dude, shut up. Jameson, keep doing what you're doing. I'm sweating over. I got the whiskey sweats over here. I'm going to go with Breeze out of the last 10 years. I'm going to say he's won 7. I mean, Brady. Sorry, Brady won 7 over the last 10 years.
You're really close, really close. He's 8-2.
Oof, damn, I'm like one off every day, all day long.
That's not bad, though. It's not bad. That's a good guess. Considering you thought he won less than Breeze.
I mean, whatever, man.
So, knowing that, what has Breeze won, or what's his record? And I'm going to give you a hint, and this is going to throw you off. He doesn't have a winning record.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be... He's going to be 4-4, or because he was out.
Out of 10?
Because he didn't start 2 years.
No. Well, the last 10 that he's played.
Oh, okay. Well, 4-5 then, or 4-6.
You're close.
Is it 5-5? Oh, 3-7. Wow.
Right?
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild, considering that even if you flip Breeze's record to 7-3, it's still not as good as Brady's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's pretty interesting to me.
Who do you think is going to take it this time, though? You think TB in TB, or do you think Breeze shuts him down his first game in the NFC?
Is this the first time they played? I actually don't know that.
Well, you got to remember, so the AFC, Tom Brady's always been played in the AFC, and the Breeze, huh?
They don't cross over?
They do, but not as often. I think they've only met once or twice at the most.
Okay. I honestly, that's a genuine question. I don't know it as well as I do baseball, and even that basketball. To be honest, basketball just has a lot of games too, but I just don't know. I don't even know who's in what division everywhere. Like, I have a good idea, but I don't know for sure. You know?
Yeah. So they've only met 5 times throughout their entire career, and 2 of the meetings happened so long ago that Breeze was still with the San Diego Chargers.
Oh, damn.
So it has been a while. So it's going to be...
They're in the same division, aren't they?
Now they are. So they'll
no. The Chargers and Patriots, aren't they in the same division?
They're in the same... Yeah, they're in the same conference. Okay. They're not in the same division, same conference.
Because I remember the reason the Chargers never did anything is they always ran into the freaking Patriots in the first round.
In the playoffs, yeah. In the playoffs, they always ran into them.
Yep.
So now it'll be interesting to see how they jumps in.
Yeah. Well, my money's got to be on the dude that's comfortable with his team already, who knows what he has. I think Tom Brady's going to do fine this year. I think he'll have a winning record. I don't know how good of a record he'll have, but I think he'll have a winning record. But, I mean, you got to bet on the dude that already's been with his team for the last, 6 years, 8 years, whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, got to go with Breeze. I think Breeze is going to take this one. It'll be really interesting to see Tom, TB himself, how he's going to play with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all the weapons that he does have. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. But I think, honestly, just like you said, you got to take the what's it called, the more experienced guy in to be able to jump in on that, dude. So
do they play each other again later on in the year?
I didn't even look at that. Let's see, Saints.
Because to me, that would be more the interesting one. Because by then, if they do, because I think they're the same division.
They are. They're in the NFC South.
They usually play each other one home, one away, right?
Right. Yeah, they play again. They play again in November, so they play them twice.
Okay, so that one would be the more interesting. Like, in terms of week 1, yeah, that's definitely an interesting game. But in terms of the matchup between them, I think that would be the better one to kind of analyze and be like, damn, now this is going to be interesting to see who wins that game. Like that one, it'd be like a roll of dice. I think it's a 50-50 game. Does it say that's who's home, who's away?
Yeah, so the first game is going to be the Saints are at home. The second game, Bucks at home.
I like it because the Saints play different when they're on the road.
Right. Oh, hold on. I hear a knock at the door. Gil? Is that Gil?
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, man? Long time listener, first time caller? Is this what this is?
I'll take your answer off the air.
Well, it's good to see you, Gil. Or it's good to hear from you, at least. Right now, we are knee deep in the NFL have released the schedule. We just finished talking about Breeze and Brady. Do you have anything to talk about Breeze and Brady week 1 coming in? First time they scored off in a while.
Who do you got?
Breeze and Brady, I mean, you gotta. So here's the thing that I'm thinking, right? With the coronavirus situation, so many players are going to have to do all their prep from home. Coaches are going to have to do all their prep from home. I think the teams that have the most people returning are probably going to start out hot. 3-4 wins in a row, just because they've already got that gelation going.
Right.
Brady's on a new team, and he's the GOAT. They've got players around him now. I think he'll do well, but it may take a little bit of time to develop that camaraderie between everybody, since they're going to be on Zoom calls for the next 2 to 3 months.
Right.
If they don't get hacked.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, man, Chiefs, Ravens, NFC, I would probably say Saints and Seahawks. Bring the most people back.
Brent, he's jumping ahead.
I know. Let's roll it back, dude. I know you showed up late, and it's okay. But we got a system to this, all right? Next game we're talking about is about the Dallas Cowboys, all right? We're talking about the Cowboys coming in.
We can skip that one.
We give Gil his just due. So Gil is in agreement with me that he thinks the more experienced, the people that play together are going to be better off, which I totally agree. So now, Gil, here's right where you came in. Okay, they play each other twice this year, and the second time they play,
in Tampa Bay.
They're in Tampa Bay in November. Who do you got that game?
Ooh, in Tampa in November.
Yeah,
I'll probably take Tampa in November.
Tampa. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look. Breeze has slowed down November and December the last couple of years. And I think the reason he did so well last year is he had 5 weeks off with a thumb injury. So, older players, and I'm actually really, really interested to see starting, what is it, in 2 years is when it's going to go to 17 games a year?
It's next season, not this one, but next season it'll go to 17 games.
So in that season, I'm going to be super interested to see how they actually stack up the rosters, because they're going to have more roster spots. They're going to have more of the profit share with the bargaining agreement. So I'm actually really, really curious to see if they'll spot start guys for 1 or 2 or 3 games just to keep everybody else fresh.
Interesting. Kind of like how Major League Baseball does with their guys. They start just...
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it's only 1 or 2 games in the middle of the season, but that 1 or 2 games, if you add that onto their bye week or onto their Thursday night football game, now guys that need the break have 2 to 3 weeks off in one period, and then can come back and play the next 8 games.
Do you think that has anything to do with like some of these big names signing up as like free agents? Like Winston going to the Saints, and freaking Dalton going to the Cowboys?
I don't know. I don't know. I actually
That's a good theory.
I kind of thought of that on the spot, but maybe that's what you're seeing. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where Cam goes now too.
We were talking about that beforehand.
Yeah.
You think I was telling Brent that I think Cam has like that Carmelo Anthony syndrome, where like he doesn't want to go anywhere unless he's a starter, But the writing on the wall is saying he's not a starter anywhere right now.
Man, he's got some kind of syndrome. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? You think he signs anywhere where he's a starter, or you think he signs somewhere where he's a backup?
I don't see him being a starter, at least being signed as a starter.
Right.
Somebody might pick him up and allow him to compete. And I mean, the guy's gifted, right? Like,
and he'll be coming back healthy, he says.
If he's healthy and his mind's right, the dude can ball. But there's so many other things that are just up in the air. Number one, who knows if he's going to get a shot, like a fair shot? And then number two, is he healthy? Is he right? You know, it's got to be the exact perfect storm for him to come in and start week one. I think that he can, but I think most likely he ends up, and I don't know what team it's going to be, but he's going to end up on a team and he'll get another shot. It probably won't be week one.
Right. And I was telling Brent that I think he needs to finally give in and say, I'm going to go to this team, and that dude's a starter, but I'm going to beat him out and pull like a Russell Wilson type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, where he's not the starter, and he knows it, and he maybe even acknowledges it, right? And ends up beating a dude out that he thinks he's better than. And if you're good and you're that good, why not do that? Like, if you were saying, hey, I'm healthy, I'm this, I'm that, I was the MVP, 4 years ago, blah, 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 right? Why not? Why not go somewhere and say, yeah, I'm going to take your job. I'm going to do it silently, but I'm going to take your job.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think if the dude wants to bet on himself, he could do a 1-year contract, and it's not going to be veterans minimum. It'll still be, 9 to 15 mil for 1 year.
Damn, that high as a
I think so, man.
I put him right around. I would say the over under is like 5 mil.
I was going to go with 7 with like 4 guaranteed.
Yeah,
because you have to think, if they were going to sign him for that big of a contract, he would have been signed already.
Right. I agree.
So right now they're going to dangle 10 mil with 5 guaranteed in front of Cam, and they're going to put a lot of stipulations on how he's going to get the rest of his money. Honestly, I think 10 million is going to be top side for him. With 5 guaranteed, I think that's probably going to be his ceiling right there. Is 10 million.
Yeah, I agree. I would put it. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Can we go?
Oh man, Ryan Fitzpatrick is getting 8 mil this year.
Well, it's Fitzmagic though.
Tyrod Taylor's getting 7.5 this year. Nick Foles is getting nearly 7 million this year.
Fitzpatrick's beard is going to get more money than Cam Newton at this point.
I could see 9 mil. I could see 9 mil guaranteed 1 year.
9 million guaranteed? No. Okay, now you're back. I'm about to kick you off of here for that one.
Wow.
Jesus.
You invited an extremist over here on the show.
I almost spit out my Jameson. Don't do that. I don't think he's getting more than 10 and 5 of it guaranteed. I don't think he's getting any more than that guaranteed out the door right now. If he was like I said, if he was going to get more money, he would have already gotten signed by now.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Nobody's going to sign him to be that much money out as a backup. Especially coming off 2 major injuries. He's got to get his head straight. I think ceiling is 10 mil, 5 mil guaranteed. That's going to be my prediction. You guys heard it here first. May 8th, 2020. You heard it here first. All right, moving on. So now talk about the other, I guess, pretty good matchup for week 1.
Thank the baby Jesus. The Cowboys are coming to LA, baby.
That means you can actually see them close to your home, considering.
I know, but it's so freaking expensive. By the way, guys, if you guys are out there and you guys want to shoot me a ticket or 2, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Please.
I'll scalp you a ticket. You might not be able to get in. Maybe a
no, I was looking at tickets. The second they announced that it was for sure that they were going to play the first game in LA, I was all over the freaking nosebleeds are like $380 a pop. I'm like, that's not going to work because I got to buy a few of them.
Yeah, 380 is not terrible if you're going solo.
Yeah, but now I got to buy a few of them.
$600 in Bud Lights.
But at least $600 in Bud Lights. But I'm pretty excited. They're going to be playing in LA. Either way, I already requested the day off at work, so I'm going to be pretty excited. Well, requested a morning shift so I could be done by 5 at the latest. Get out of there and then get Monday off for sure. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I get the Sunday, Monday off. That would be things. That would be a perfect storm. So I could watch the game and all the games and freaking have some fucking fun. But I'm excited. It's going to be interesting to see the new stadium. It's going to be interesting to see the new Rams logo, whatever they're doing with that Charger-looking thing.
That stadium, I haven't even heard any like progress or anything like that. You know?
Oh, it's going to be played. They're almost done.
Wow. They're really, really working on that thing, man. My office, I could see the stadium from my office.
Oh wow!
And that thing went from like nothing to fully erected. I mean, they're not putting finishing touches on it. They're still doing pipeline. They're still grading. I'm actually an engineer, so we have a couple of projects that we've done on their water lines, gas lines, and sewer lines. And to see the transition that it's had in the short amount of time is crazy. With that being said, I'm hearing a lot of guys that are actually contractors on those jobs saying that they're not 100% sure if it's going to be ready week 1. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but it's going to have to be. They're going to have to hire more crews. Something's going to have to happen in order to get this thing up and running.
I feel like the same thing because I felt like Dodger Stadium was in the same boat where like, oh damn, you're lucky coronavirus came into play because I don't think you're gonna have that done, you know. And I feel this is the same thing. One of my, I'm a teacher, so one of my students, his dad does a lot of the iron work, for that stadium. He's like, dude, there's no way we're gonna have this done by the start of the season. But obviously, with everything slowing down, they're more like, hey, we got a shot at having this done by the start of the season, you know, like. Before it was no shot. Now it's like we got an outside shot.
Well, I do know that I already got an email from the Rams season ticket people. They're already like, dude, we're going. It's going to be at the new stadium. We're ready to rock and roll. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. No. I'm not a Rams fan. Relax. I was looking into season tickets just because the Cowboys are going to be there. Why Gil keeps getting pushed out of here? I don't know what he's doing here.
I don't know.
Got it. There we go.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out how to mute it. That way, like, if I coughed or something, it wasn't going to come across. But I don't know how to work this damn thing.
Apparently, you know how to work a few things. So, anyways, moving on to week 2, the Saints and the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, the Raiders sold out their entire season in less than a day. The entire 2020 Raiders season in Las Vegas has been sold out. Every seat gone.
Closer to LA, you know, it's a little turnaround trip day, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going to be the over under. How many wins or how many fights that they come out on the news with, you know?
I think more fights than wins.
Yeah, I agree too. I think more fights than wins too.
I'm really hoping the ticket prices price the riffraff out at the new stadium.
You are the riffraff.
I'm involved, man. I'm involved.
You threw it there, and I had to fucking knock it out the pack. But it's gonna be interesting. So why top game? Why is the Raiders and Saints gonna be the top game in week 2, Artie?
I just think they're gonna be close by, you know, and a lot of people are gonna go there. The Raiders are interesting, you know, like they're one of those that is curious to see what they're going to be doing. I believe that's their first game at home. So everybody really wants to see that opening day at home, you know, at the new stadium, a different place.
Definitely.
You know, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Raiders are the only team to ever play in 3 different places, right? LA, Oakland, and now Las Vegas. I could be wrong.
You can't know the Oilers. I was gonna say the Oilers because they were at the Astrodome and then they went to Tennessee and then they came back to Houston.
But they switched their names.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Right, the Raiders are the only ones that kept basically everything. Just switched their, you know, kind of like the Angels. You know, the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't start with your shit. I'll take you to. I will take you to church and a history lesson right now, Mister. I'm a teacher. Motherfucker.
You know, other than just switching, you know, the Las Vegas Raiders, you know, the Oakland Raiders, the Los Angeles Raiders. Yeah, at least they've been the Raiders, you know?
We've always been the Angels, you some bitch.
Yeah, but they throw up.
Whatever.
You know?
Week 3, week 3 matchup that I think everybody else is going to be most excited about is going to be the Chiefs and the Ravens. The top two offenses are going to be going down. The best young quarterbacks are going to be down. Mahomes and Jacksoni are going to be getting rock and rolling. They are the last two MVPs. So, all right, here we go. Here's my thing. First off, how many touchdowns are they going to have combined? Over, under 6.
Oh, over. Easy.
Over.
To me, this has a feel of like the Chiefs and the Rams a couple. What was it? 2 years ago, where they were trading. They were just trading blows back and forth. Call me crazy, but I just feel like that this is going to be that kind of game.
Over under in points, then let's call it 100.
Oh, under 100, but I mean, over under probably a good number would be like 70, and I'll take the over on a 70. You know,
I take the over on 70. I think it's probably going to be like 82, 83.
Yeah,
there's a good shot. You'd see 41 to 44 or something like that.
Right? Yeah, I agree. So that's one of those like, man, I'm going to grab my popcorn and I'm going to enjoy this game. I tell you,
it's going to be a really good game to watch. I mean, it's going to be interesting how it all folds out. I think that's going to be the game of the week, as they say.
Shoot, it might be the game of the year.
We see. I don't want to hype it up too much because you do have the Chiefs and the Bucks coming out later.
The game that I'm looking forward to this year, I guess. You know, especially me who doesn't have a team, right? Like.
You're a Cowboy, dude. I don't know how many times I got to tell you already, dude. You're a fucking Cowboys fan, and that's that.
I'm a Rams fan. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not no Rams fan. Calm down. They look like the Chargers nowadays. Okay, relax.
Which for me, I like blue teams, so we're good. All right, moving on.
We got the Cowboys and Cardinals, the battle of the two mobile quarterbacks, Dak versus Deshaun. And actually, Deshaun was telling, before he got drafted, he was telling Jerry Jones, hey, man, trade this guy away. Come get me. We're going to make things happen. I kind of wish that would have happened now. Kind of wish.
Who do you think's the better quarterback?
Ooh, right now, or who has a higher ceiling?
Higher ceiling is Deshaun all day.
But wait, I think you got the wrong one here, big guy, because it's Lamar Jackson, not... Wait. It's Murray, right?
Oh.
What's his first name? Because you're saying Deshaun.
Oh, I'm thinking about the Texans.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Well, what's Murray's first name? I'm drawing a blank here.
Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. So you keep saying Deshaun. I'm like, wait a second.
That's my bad. We go ahead and rewind that. We're not going to edit it out because I made a mistake. It is what it is.
I think Murray has a higher ceiling.
Absolutely.
But I think Dak is a better quarterback
right now.
Week 6, is Dak still going to be the quarterback for the Cowboys?
Shit might be fucking Andy Dalton at that point. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's going to be a good game, I think. I feel like that's going to be a coming out party for Murray if he kind of figures things out as a sophomore, you know, in the NFL. Like, it could be, because the Cowboys are, to me, the better team. But the Cards have all the weapons now, and I think I dare say they might have more weapons than the Cowboys.
I mean, that's kind of hard to say because the Cowboys have a ton of weapons now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if they have more weapons than the Cards, it's by a hair. You know what I'm saying? Not like by a landslide, but by a hair.
I think that game comes down to one thing: pass rush. Who can get the better pass rush?
Yeah, I think it's definitely who's a better defensive team on that one in general. Because
I mean, they both have weapons. The only thing that I could think of is Dak is a little cooler under fire.
Yeah.
So I mean that's going to be an interesting game, man. Because that could either be a smoke show that's got 80 points, or it could be something that's like 21-17, but like a nail biter the whole game. You know.
I totally agree.
I'll take the nail biters all day long. I love the nail biters.
I think the Cowboys. See, my opinion is I think the Cowboys will win the nail biter, but I think the Cards will win the shootout. That's my opinion for that game. If it's a nail biter, the Cowboys edge it out. If it's a shootout, the Cards win it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting game, man. That's an interesting game because it could be. The press on that game is going to be tough for the Cowboys if they lose to a younger, not rookie, but sophomore player, and I mean that could be something that just turns a season around week 6 for either team.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll have to see what's going on. So we'll see when we get there to week 6. Jumping to week 12, Chiefs and Bucks. Here it is. The Chiefs and the Bucks are getting together, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Who do you guys think, week 12, so far down in the season, who's going to have the advantage here? Mahomes or Brady?
I think Mahomes. I think that's it. I think this is one of those officially passes the torch to the next guy type of deal. That Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of feel to things.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of happened last year, but because I think the Chiefs beat Tom Brady in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like it happened, that type of thing. But now I think it kind of, if the Chiefs win it, it's cemented. Like, all right, this is a next lead for the NFL. He's the next face of the NFL.
Agreed.
The Chiefs beat the Patriots in the regular season 2 years ago, and then the Patriots beat the Chiefs in the postseason. Last year, the Titans beat the Patriots.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you're right.
So this will be the first time that they play since 2018 playoffs.
Yeah, and I feel it has that passing of the torch type of thing. And when it's a passing of the torch, well, the young guy usually wins, not the old guy,
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my opinion.
All right, so that's Chiefs and Bucks. What about Chiefs and Saints in week 16? Is it going to be the passing the torch? Is he going to beat Drew Brees out, or is Drew Brees even going to be playing that late in the season?
That's going to be the interesting thing. Is Jameson in there and playing Mahomes, and that little Cinderella win late in the year to make the playoffs type of thing. I don't know. That's going to be very curious. Very, very curious to see that. I don't know. I just don't see the Chiefs having that sophomore slump. Like I don't get that feeling from Patrick Mahomes. I get that feeling Mahomes is like, oh, I got a taste of victory and how good it feels, and I want more. He's not just like, yeah, I won one, I'm cool. He like Aaron Rodgers feels like he did that when he finally won one. Like, hey, the monkey's off my back. I don't ever got to win another one because I won one, right? Mahomes doesn't ever feel it has never given me that vibe of like, yeah, I had that monkey and now it's off my back. It's more like, all right, I got it. Now what? How many can I win? Type of thing.
I think, man, that's gonna be an interesting game. I think that just comes down to speed. The Chiefs have so much speed, and at that point, you got a lot more veteran players on the Saints. You do have Alvin Kamara, but I mean, he's been hurt for, I don't know, 4 or 5 of the 32 games he's played. Is he going to be good to go that late? And they don't have the bruiser in Melvin Ingram, or not Melvin Ingram, but Mark Ingram that they had years ago. You saw it wear on Kamara
right
in last year's season. I think they just have too much speed, man. Too much speed. They can run up and down with everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And here's another thing. Here's a little curveball for you, okay? It is week 16. What if the Chiefs are so far ahead in the division that they really don't play Mahomes the second half?
That's true. What if they've got a spot locked up already for at least 1 or 2?
Yep.
Did they take the foot off the brake a little bit? All the way? Who knows?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see if they do that or not. But, I mean, who do the Chiefs really have to beat in the AFC West at this point?
Nobody.
Exactly. So
the Raiders will go either 7-9 or 8-8. Broncos will probably go 7-9, and who knows what the Chargers are going to do. They either win 14 games or 3 games. There's no in between.
Feast or famine. Here it is.
Yeah. They are, for sure.
All right, moving on to the Patriots, still having 5 primetime games, even without Brady. What do you guys think about that? Reports are out that they might be trying to tank the season to get a shot at drafting Trevor Lawrence, but I don't see Belichick going down that road.
They haven't gotten a quarterback. Can you name their starting quarterback right now off the top of my head?
Off the top of my head, I can't, but I did read an article earlier. They were talking about who the quarterback was going to be. It's their backup from last year, Brady's backup.
Jared Stidham.
There you go, the Stidman.
Yeah. No shit
Auburn.
last year because they didn't sign anybody.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. I could see this tanking thing, you know? Like, I could see it. I wouldn't. Why haven't they signed anybody? What? Cam Newton's out there? Andy Dalton was there. Jameson Winston was there. You could have signed them for cheap. You tell me you can't take Jameson Winston at like $3 million for the year? Like, that dude would be willing to take it, you know?
To start for New England? Hell yeah.
At least a chance to start because, you know, he ain't starting in St. Louis, in
New Orleans.
You know, that dude says, hey, you know, I'll take $3 million I'll for a chance to start over here. I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, you know, like Cam Newton, you know, for what would we say, 5 or 10?
Mm-hmm.
You know, 10 with incentives, 5 for you tell me they wouldn't pony up $5 million a year for Cam Newton for a chance to start? I don't know. So without them doing that stuff, I could hear these conspiracy theories. I'm not discounting them, is what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I think it's smart. I think it's super smart. There's not a lot of players who come out where they're at that level 2-3 years before they even come out. You know, Andrew Luck, John Elway, and Trevor Lawrence are the only ones that, when they're freshmen, they're going to be the number 1 pick when they're a junior.
Right.
So why not, man? Why not? I've heard two very interesting things kind of on this topic. One, Colin Cowherd on his show has been talking about that the Patriots are just stacking up draft picks. They move back.
They have had so many next year and the year after that.
They've got so many first, second round picks over the next 2 years that even if they don't tank and they end up winning, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, they may be able to just put a package together where it's 4 first rounders, 3 second rounders. It's something that's just unheard of to be able to move up into that number 1 overall spot.
Make me an offer you can't refuse, right?
Exactly. And then the second thing, I read an article last week which was super, super interesting, and it was about turning franchises around. And the whole concept of this article was it's better to suck and be trash for 1 or 2 years in order to rebuild and put everything back together to be able to be a contender than be mediocre and make the playoffs but be a 1 and done or 2 and done for 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
like
I know, poor Cowboys.
I was watching their 1990s games earlier this week.
That was great.
Like I said, like you said, 15, 20 years, right?
That's right, man. But it's very interesting, and I felt the same way as an Angel fan from early 2000s to 2010, 2012. The Angels won 7 or 8 AL West titles, but they lost in the first or second round every single year. And it was like, man, I would break this band up and then get it back together 2 years later and make one run, rather than an AL West pennant and then shit the bed when you get to the second round of the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
the Florida Marlins mentality, huh?
Exactly.
Blow it up and let's have some fun.
All right, moving on.
Well, Vegas missed out on hosting the draft, but they do have 4 primetime games lined up, so it's a good consolation prize considering how bad the team has been, and Gil knows how bad the team's been. Other teams that got really good, I know the Cowboys got 5 primetime games as well, including Thanksgiving, so that's going to be really awesome to see them throughout the year, even though I don't miss a game.
Right?
Huh?
That's normal.
It is normal.
I always have Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. The top... Huh?
But that's what makes the Raiders, so interesting. They sold out their entire season in one day, dude.
Less than a day.
Less than a day. Well, yeah, basically just one day, There was no tomorrow. If you weren't in line, then you weren't in line, right?
Basically.
Do you think that's fans, or do you think that's an investment?
I think it's a bit of both, yeah.
A little both. I mean, we have, scalping has taken its own, now with all these, ticket apps and stuff like that, it's kind of taking on a different form, So it's like the stock market in some ways. You're just buying tickets and you're posting them online. Make some money off of it, right?
I mean, now that you mention it, I can't remember. I mean, I think that I've bought more tickets from third-party sites versus buying from the actual team
Right.
over the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of actually jumping on the MLB or NFL website and buying a ticket from that website versus going to, whatever third-party app or third-party website that it is that has resale tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's a little both, but I think it's again like those third party websites, I don't even use them, but what's a really popular one? StubHub.
Yeah.
I don't use it because I think they're a little overpriced, but I mean StubHub, they bought probably a good 100 or something, right? Season tickets worth.
Yeah, I usually get my stuff off of StubHub or SeatGeek. Those are the two that I go with.
Yeah. My two for sure are SeatGeek. My two that I always go back and forth from are SeatGeek and TickPick. Those are my go-to for sure because one of them two, they're going to beat everybody's price, guaranteed every time.
Yeah, and what I like about those two as well is they include the fees and transaction fees or whatever. So you're not looking at a $25 ticket and then eating an $80 fee to transfer the ticket over to you.
And you could track the games. I don't know if you heard me say that, but you could track whatever games you want, like because it tells you, hey, the trend is they're going down. Hey, the trend is they're going up. Well,
that's cool. I haven't seen that or I haven't used that feature yet.
Yeah, so I do it a lot because, like you said, I can't remember the last time. I think when I was a season ticket holder, I guess for the Dodgers, or at least a mini plan, I would get my tickets from them, and honestly, they would let me buy more. So I would get my tickets that I needed, and then I'd buy the extra ones, and then I'd sell them to like friends for a little bit of profit, and I would just try to do it for enough profit to cover my tickets so that I went in for free. And they're like, oh, why are you selling them so cheap? And I said, trust me, I'm getting I'm selling them to you more than face value, but I'm just trying to cover my tickets to go in for free. And if I break even, that's perfect for me because I'm getting the playoffs or whatever the game is, like for free.
Yeah.
Brent and I did a season plan probably 2011, 2012.
Right around there.
2 or 3 years. And our tickets came out to $2.50 per seat.
Damn.
So, and we had 4 seats. And we were, the Angels were good at that point. And
that's true. That's just me just talking smack.
It is. You always do that, though.
You could literally sell a third of the games at $10 and cover our seats for the whole season.
Exactly. It was great.
It was super cool. It was great, yeah.
What are we looking at? Top rookie debuts. Quarterback Joe Burrow and the Bengals versus the Chargers, or defensive end Chase Young and the Redskins versus the Eagles? Who do you think is going to have a better debut their rookie day?
Well, here's the thing. I like the better debut. I think Burrow probably has a better debut because he can control what the debut happens because he's got the ball in his hands. Chase Young has to kind of make things happen. However, I think Chase Young is kind of the more interesting one because his is a division rivalry game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Redskins, the Eagles. So those are always a little bit different, a little more interesting. But I just think Joe Burrow is going to have the better debut because he can control the game himself.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm actually going the opposite. I'm going Chase Young, and reason is what we talked about earlier. Joe Burrow's got a giant playbook he's got to be able to digest coming in as a starter. He's also got to get on the same page with all his guys, and if you're cutting two months or so of actual face-to-face time and training and practice, Chase Young just has to go tackle the quarterback. That's his job. I don't know, man. I think Chase Young's got a more linear path to being able to succeed game one, maybe even season one.
But he is playing the Chargers, who you said feast or famine, right?
That's true, man. It might be 6 touchdowns in his debut.
Right? I agree. I don't know. I was just throwing it out. You could go either way. It's a flip of the coin, right?
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. Maybe they both ball out game one.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I like seeing rookies succeed,
It'd be really good to see either one of these guys break out. I mean, it's going to be a great year for football, I think, as long as we all do play. Getting into the predictions. Artie, you're putting down Cowboys 10-6, tied with the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East.
So these are all predictions that I got from ESPN, and you know what? I felt like they were pretty accurate Because, well, I didn't see the Eagles being at 10-6. I saw the Cowboys taking the division. Maybe they win the tiebreaker type of thing, like they have the tiebreaker.
Right.
But I do see the Cowboys, and I've been telling you this all year, that I see the Cowboys going 10-6. You know, we talk about like the over/under. If we had to pick an over, then I'm taking the over. But I see them being at 10-6. I see them winning the division, probably holding the tiebreaker over the Eagles, though. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm okay with that, dude. I'm okay with the Cowboys taking the division. I'm okay with 10-6. I'd go 11-5 to be a little more optimistic, but I do think the Eagles take the second in that division, and they're gonna be right there. I think they get a wild card spot, and we see them in the playoffs.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it's easier to say Giants and the Redskins will not make the playoffs.
It's way easier that way.
Right.
NFC North, the Packers and the Vikings. We got the Packers according to ESPN 11-5, Vikings 10-6.
I could see that one. To me, I see flip flopping. I could see turmoil going on with the Packers.
Absolutely, because of Aaron Rodgers and stuff.
Yeah, so I could see them flip flopping. I could see the Vikings. I don't see. I mean, they got rid of Diggs, so the problem is they don't have like a secondary receiver. Thielen was hurt last year. Is all the focus going to be on Thielen now only? You know, like, I don't know. But I could definitely see the Vikings being flip-flop, like 11-5, and the Packers being 10-6. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, I see the same thing, man. I would flip that. But the Vikings did take, I think they took 2 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds. So I know they took Justin Jefferson in the first round out of LSU, possession receiver. I don't know, man. They might be able to fill that gap.
Okay.
There's also been trade talk about the Vikings getting OBJ. So maybe they know something. Maybe they traded Diggs and they drafted a rookie and they know they're getting somebody.
Yeah, I can see that. But OBJ, if he comes to them, I personally think that he's got all the skills, but I think he's also got all the attitude, and he's a little bit of a cancer to teams.
He's a headache, man. He's a headache. But fuck, man, he might be able to put it together for 1 year, and that's all they need.
I wonder what his contract situation is like, because, you know, he might be needing that next big contract, and it seems like guys that have a lot of skill tend to do better right when their contract's about to expire.
Mm-hmm. Except when you're Dak Prescott, and then, you know. I was waiting for it. I was like, I was going to say it myself. NFC South, we got the Saints 12-4, Bucks at 11-5.
I could see that for sure. I could definitely agree with that.
I think first year Tom Brady there, I think they go 10-6, realistically. I think they still fighting for a wild card spot, but I think 10-6 is where the Bucks are going to be at.
Okay. All right. I still see that first and second finishing like that, though.
I could see the Saints finishing 12-4, but the Bucks finishing 10-6, tied up with the Vikings.
All right.
You think the Falcons could make a run in that division?
No way.
Oh?
No way. Even with Gurley, no way. By the way, Gurley still hasn't gotten paid. He threatened the Rams. You better pay me. Pay my money, Bo.
What do you mean, the Rams or the
Rams?
Falcons?
The Rams have yet to pay him his final check. And
damn!
He said their deadline to pay him is June 1st. So he's like, I'm gonna be waiting June 1st. Better have my money.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Him and Clay Matthews too. Clay Matthews actually hired an attorney to represent him about that as well.
What's up with that? Don't they have to pay them?
They do, but there's a time frame on when they have to absolutely pay them.
So they're just being little jerks then.
They're banking on money getting. I think they were waiting for sales from tickets and all that to come through to be like, all right, dude, here's your money. Even though I'm sure they have it, but they're just trying to pull it from somewhere else. That's speculation from me, and that's just me. NFC West, the Niners 11-5, Seahawks 11-5. You think do you think the Niners and the Seahawks are going to tie it up? Gil, what do you think? Do you think they're going to be tied up? I think the Niners actually do a little bit better. Seahawks, I think we're going to go 12-4, 11-5, right around there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be close. I could see it 12-4, 11-5, or 11-5. Man, this one is going to be super, super interesting. It's gonna be like the old. Come down to who's healthy at the end.
The old WWE adage. It's gonna be a slobber knocker all the way through the entire season in the NFC West.
Man, this is gonna be a good one.
Moving on to the AFC East, the Bills, 12-4. I mean, I am excited for the goddamn Bills. Don't ever quote me as saying that again. But the Bills look like they're going to be a powerhouse in the AFC now that Tommy TB is gone. They have the ESPN has them at 12-4. I think it's a doable. They end up 12-4. I think it's very doable, but I think honestly they might end up 11-5, maybe 10-6. They run into a couple just weird games that they don't. I still think they take the AFC East, but I think 12-4 is really shooting high. I think 10-6, 11-5, right around there is where they're gonna end up. What do you think?
I second you, man. I think 11-5.
I mean 12-4. It's a lofty goal, but I still think it's a little too lofty. I think they look good, but not that damn good.
12-4 is hard to do.
Yeah. AFC North. The Ravens 12-4. That's no question. I think that's going to be a thing. If they don't go 12-4, I think they go 13-3. But it's the Ravens right now. They're pretty hot. Unless something crazy happens, I think they're well over 12-4, 13-3. I think they're number one in the AFC East. They're fighting for it with the Chiefs. I think having the Chiefs at 12-4 is a little low. I think they're going to be 13-3, right around there. But you never know what could happen.
Yeah, I could see the Ravens finishing with the best record in the NFL. To be honest, I mean, I like the Chiefs. I think they're gonna have a couple little slip-ups because they do have the target on their back as the Super Bowl champs, as they should. But I definitely think the Ravens are out to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, and I think they have the talent and the team to actually do it. And I have a feeling that they're gonna be the best. They're gonna have the best record in the NFL this year.
Let's see what else we got here. Who else we got? The AFC South. We didn't talk about them, but the Colts and the Titans. I don't think the Colts are going to be in the contention for the AFC South title, but I think they'll be in contention for the wild card spot. I think the Titans end up 10-6, but I think the Colts end up 9-7. Right around there, 8-8, 9-7, but fighting for that second wild card spot. I don't know how Phillip Rivers is going to do in the new system and with new players, and I mean, who knows? He might ball out and go crazy, but at the same time, it's still Phillip Rivers. He has a tendency when he gets nervous to throw picks. So
I agree. I think that's like the poor man's division of the NFL. There's always one of those divisions everywhere in every sport. And I just feel like that's the one that is totally up for grabs by everybody. I feel like the Titans were a Cinderella team. I don't see them repeating anything what they did last year. I could see them just imagine if Henry gets hurt, somebody says, you know what, I'm going to take this dude, I'm going to hit him really low because he's too big to hit high, and his knee just starts aching a little bit. Mm-hmm. That team is gonzos, man, if freaking Henry can't even come close to repeating last year, and I don't see him repeating what he did last year. I don't think he's a bad running back or anything, but I think now the teams are going to be more focused on him.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to be like, all right, Tannehill, you beat us. Go for it. You ain't good enough to beat us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to do the same thing they did to Gurley with the Rams. They made, the quarterback beat him, and they shut him down, even though I think he was more scared to run after he got hurt. Gurley was, to say, than he is right here, but who knows? We'll see what happens. I honestly think the Titans take it 10-6 on the good end, but I think the Colts definitely second wild card spot, maybe. What do you think, Gil?
I think Colts, Texans, and Titans are probably 8 or 9 win teams. One or two of those teams is going to win 8 or 9 games. I don't know about 10-6.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't see. I can see one of them pulling it off, but there's no way both of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't see two teams breaking double digits this year.
Not out of the AFC South. Yeah. No way. One, if we're lucky.
I mean, they might be. Honestly, I don't want to be a jerk here, Brent, but I feel like they might be last year's, Dallas Cowboys NFC East team division. I think whoever gets above a 500 record, maybe even 500, gets that division title.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Early Super Bowl favorites. This is from ESPN. Chiefs, Saints, and Ravens. Top 3 teams to go. Artie, give me your top 3. Give me your top 4 teams to go.
Jeez.
I
like the Niners. I like the Niners in there. I don't know why they're being overlooked. Defense wins championships, and the Niners remind me of that team that's hungry. Like they're itching. They're getting closer every year. A couple of years ago they were making a run in the playoffs. Last year they made it to the Super Bowl and lost. They really didn't lose any players. They just kind of kept the same guys and everybody in place. And another year with Jimmy G under his belt, that rookie Debo, really coming to light. They added Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders, yeah.
Imagine another year together instead of just trying to gel as the year went on. Dude, I take the 49ers as being a sleepers in that division and maybe being Super Bowl contenders. I don't know if they win it. I kind of hope for Evan that they do, and my compadre Carlos.
I don't hope for them at all.
Yeah, I always do. I always like to see my friends' teams win.
I like
to rag on them all the way until they get there, and then once they're there, okay, then I'll support you, right?
So you're saying the Saints and the who did we just say?
49ers.
The Saints and Niners, sorry. Brain fart. Saints and Niners out of the NFC, and obviously the Chiefs and Ravens coming out of the AFC.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Gil, do you have any side notes on that one, or do you think those are going to be the top 4 teams?
I mean, I think those are the favorites. I'd be interested to hear one sleeper from each of you guys. Either division.
If I had to put money on a team to win the Super Bowl, it would be the 49ers in terms of a sleeper. That's who I would put my money on.
They were in the Super Bowl last year. They brought everybody back.
They didn't win it. But they didn't win it, though, and you could tell that they weren't ready to win it because it was like Jimmy G in his first full year, and, they got these rookie defensive guys. You know what I'm saying? It felt like, I know we've been seeing The Last Dance and stuff, but it feels like they're kind of like the Michael Jordan of the NFL right now. We're they're close, and they're making it, and they're making good runs, and they put up these numbers and have great seasons, and then they get to the playoffs, and, man, just something goes wrong, And again, kind of similar, making different analogies, similar to my Dodgers. I don't think I guess they have a good shot this year if they play the season. But it kind of feels that way. We're man, they're there, but they weren't just good enough to win it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about a team that just comes out of nowhere and wins it all, ooh, out of nowhere, right? Someone that we're just oh, damn, I didn't think they'd win it. I could see the Seahawks. They're just kind of always scrappy. They're a team that not everybody's talking about because they don't sign any big free agents or anything like that. They just kind of get a lot of dudes that just add a little glue to the rest of the puzzle and make it stick together. And I can see the Seahawks. I know everybody's going to say, oh, the Bucks because Tom Brady. I don't see that. I need to see a team that's been kind of at least together for a little bit for a while, and I could see the Seahawks being a super sleeper to win it all.
Right on. Gil, what's your sleeper?
Vikings.
The Vikings?
Yeah, Vikings, man. I think if they put it together in one good run, they got a shot.
Right on. I mean, I not disagree with you in anywhere there. I think sleeper, I don't think they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but they're going to be contending. I like the Bills. I really like the Bills and what they've done. I know everybody thought I was going to say the Cowboys, and that's my. I'm going to bet $100. That's 1,000 to 1 right there odds. But I'm always going to root for my Cowboys. I'm always going to say this is the year. But I think if we got to be realistic and we got to put something down, I think my sleeper team to go and take it all would be the Bills.
What are they called? The Bills Mafia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I could see that, being a sleeper. Yeah, but I don't know. We're taking a super sleeper out, gamble that pays off really big. I'll take Seattle. For sure.
Right on. All right, a couple quick hits before we get on out of here. Frank Gore still playing another year. Turned 37. He's still younger than me, that son of a bitch. He signed a 1-year contract with the Jets. And another thing, Marshawn Lynch maybe coming back to Seattle. Maybe.
Interesting.
He did say if they let me, I'll be back. But if not, we're good. So he's good either way.
Take care of your chicken.
Take care of your damn chickens, folks. And then
Frank Gore's going after Emmitt Smith's record. Let me tell you.
You think he's gonna get it?
No.
He can go for it all day long, and he ain't getting close.
He could go for it, but he ain't gonna get it. I think he's hoping to break into the number 2 slot, but even that, I don't know.
Beat Sweetness. I don't know.
But I mean, he's going somewhere where it could happen, though. Because the Jets, Bell is more. He's a dude that's really good at catching the ball out of that backfield.
Yeah.
And Gore is more of a ground and pound type of dude, Like Bell could ground and pound, but I think at this point in his career, he's like, I'm good with grounding and pounding, Like, long as I got my contract, no need to do that,
Yeah, I don't see Frank Gore coming out of the Jets putting up stellar numbers. I think he puts up decent numbers, for this season, but not enough to
500 yards mark.
I think 400 or 500 yards is probably.
I think it's going to be right around there, dude. I don't think he gets 6.
Over under 500.
Well, I'll go
under. Yeah.
Both
took under.
I'll be devil's advocate. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say he hits 505.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought you were going to say something worth it. I thought you were going to say something worth it. And then finally, Mike Tyson, at 53 years old, back in fighting shape. He's offered $1 million to do a charity boxing match against a rugby fighter. Artie, can you elaborate on that one?
Rugby player. My bad. I put fighter. But rugby player. Dude, did you see him? I don't know if I ever told you the story about, we were talking earlier, how I go to all these stadiums, right?
Yeah.
For baseball. So one time, I don't even know where the stadiums I was at or whatever, but I was on a little bit of a layover. And Tyson wasn't on my flight, but he was in the same layover I was at. And we're just in the airport. And there's only a couple of places to eat at this airport. I believe we were in Tennessee or something, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was me and Toño. Toño, we grew up with him. And I spot Tyson. He's wearing a hat. And I'm like, hey, dude, I think that's Mike Tyson over there, right? And he was with one other guy, nobody around. It was just him, me, and my dad. And Toño looks over and he's like, he's kind of fat, isn't he? And I was like, yeah, well, he hasn't been boxing for a minute, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, but I'm pretty sure that's him. And at that time, I was still a sports writer, and I don't know if I ever told you, but his son played for a high school that I was in charge of covering. So Toño was like, hey, dude, why don't you go talk to him about his son? You got an in to talk to him, and then from there, maybe I could get a picture of us, right? So I was like, all right, because nobody was around, right? It was layover, and we're just waiting to catch the flight. Interesting enough, Exhibit was trying to catch the same layover, too. But Exhibit was very recognizable, and the paparazzi was all over that dude. So, and I could see Tyson kind of smiling when Exhibit was running away from paparazzi, right? So, anyways, so I go over and I say, hey, Mike, right? And he says, yeah, a little voice and stuff like that, right? And I was like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, how you doing? I say, hey, man, big fan. I was like, hey, I was curious. I was, you ever been down to Irvine to go see your son Diamato play? He's like, Diamato, how do you know him? And I said, oh, well, I'm a sports writer and I cover that area, this and this and that. I cover, one of the schools, blah, blah, blah. He's pretty good. He's a running back. He goes, oh, yeah, I heard he's kind of good. And I saw him play once, but, he didn't have a good game. And we just got to talking, right? A little bit about him. And his buddy was like, who's he talking about? Who's he talking about? And you could tell Tyson's son, so-and-so's son and, my firstborn and blah, 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 right? So it's Tyson's oldest. And then he's all right, cool. He's all, do you know him? And I say, well, I mean, I don't know him really close or anything, but yeah, we talk and he knows who I am, and stuff like that. And he's all right, cool. Well, if you see him and I don't get to see him again, just tell him, that I'll keep track of him and blah, 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 this and this and that. And that's when Tony was like, hey, can we get a picture? Right? So we took a picture of Tyson. But to think of Tyson back then, bro, he was like a little bowling ball. To what I saw the picture of him and he's wearing this Clippers practice shirt type of thing. Mm-hmm. This dude is ripped. He looks like he's in better shape than when he was fighting, dude. And he's 53 years old. Let me tell you, I think those hooks, if he gets in on somebody's body, he's causing some damage. Let me tell you that. He's going to cause some damage on some people. So I'd like to do that.
Especially against somebody like a rugby player. Who's not really trained in he's going down. It's gonna be. He's going down to two round, 3 maybe.
Yeah,
I hope he's wearing pads.
A lot of people that I would that you would be able to take him even right now, man. That dude is gnarly. He has the cleanest short left hook I've
He
ever seen.
does.
Oh yeah, it's so nice.
That, man. That is so hard to throw, and he just effortlessly just throws it and hits with power.
Yep, totally agree. I'd love to see that. It'd be cool.
I feel good, man.
And I think everybody has that memory of him in what's it called, the bachelor party one. What's it called, the
Hangover.
The Hangover of him throwing that hook, and they're like, he still got it, right?
Still got it.
I could totally see that, and everybody's saying he still got it when he knocks out that rugby player, you know?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you know if that's going to happen actually, or what the talks are?
Hey, that's probably not going to happen. I don't see something like that happening, but it's good talk, you know.
It is. It'll be interesting if he does come back for one more. It is what it is. And on that note, we have come to that time of the day where we're going to say goodnight, goodbye, and all that other fun jazz. Gil, I know you came in late, but it's always a pleasure. Never a chore. Hopefully we can get you here for a full show coming up soon.
I appreciate it.
Oh, always, man, always. Artie, do you have any goodbye-byes to say?
I got good vibes from Gil. I like this guy. He's an Angels fan, but I like this guy. You know?
I don't care what anybody says. He's cool with my book.
I don't care what anybody says about you, man. You're welcome. Go Dodgers game with me anytime. But good times, Bill. Seriously, bro. I could tell you're very knowledgeable about at least football that we got in there. And good times. Hope you come back, especially once the season kicks off and stuff like that. And as usual, everybody wash their hands, be safe, and wear your mask.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of the show today. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Don't forget, like Artie said, make sure you guys wash your hands, stay safe, keep those face masks on, and make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves and your loved ones. Remember, guys, if you guys want to reach us out at the Blown Save Podcast, reach us at theblownsavedpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure that you guys are liking, subscribing, retweeting, reposting, doing all that fun stuff so we can get out there. Big shout out to the areas where... Hold on. There's everything going over there. Spreaker. I'll fix this in a second. Big shout out to everybody out in Portugal. Thank you guys for listening to us. Shout outs to Moreno Valley, Frisco, Texas, LP, La Puente, Bridgetown, LA, Segundo, Dallas, Texas, Azusa, Plano, Texas, Ada, Oklahoma, Rancho Cucamonga, and everywhere else you guys are listening to. Make sure you guys are saying how much you guys love and enjoy listening to us. We really appreciate everything. We appreciate all the love that we've gotten so far. Keep it up, guys. Like, subscribe, like I've said. You guys have a great night. We'll see you guys next week after the UFC fights. Woo! Let's get it.